I've never heard it put that way, but I suppose so. That would be like sort of like jealousy almost, is it?
I don't know if that's the
Or
feeling,
that's a,
but it's
I'm
just like, it's like, look, dude, if you value this fucking relationship, uh, you're going to make sure that you're around as long as I'm around because we care about each other. Like, that's where you're going with this. And I don't necessarily think it's the wrong or right way to think about it or whatever. I don't know what the right way to think about it is, but like, um, you ultimately can't, even with how much you love someone, you can't make them do
mm-hmm.
what you want, even if you think it's the right thing. You know what I mean?
Yep, yep. That's the unfortunate situation.
Yeah. So it's like you can either choose the path of I'm going to care less about this person to prevent myself from being hurt in the long run, or I'm going to appreciate this person and love them as long as they're here, no matter what their choices are. Like that's the two choices in my mind. Maybe there's other choices, but those are the two roads that I see. What are you doing right now?
I was just chilling in Stormwind, just typing to people,
Oh, okay.
looking on Reddit, watching videos, the news. Have like 9 tabs for the WoW API app for the fucking weak auras.
I hope there's a point in our life, like together, where either I'm in a situation where we can just like not live together, but you know what I mean, like where I can release you from the chain. This is diverting to a different topic. Release you from the chains of like all the expectations and shit that your mom has for you, and like all that shit, all the pressures that you experience and shit from all that shit. Like I want you to be free from that, you know what I mean? Like maybe you don't want to be free from that or whatever. You just can't see any other way. Like obviously it's not feasible. I understand that right now in this very moment, but I mean in the future, like where do you even see yourself in 10 years kind of thing? It's hard to say, right?
Dude, I've never known the answer to that question. I
Yeah,
hated that question in like grade
nobody
school and stuff.
nobody does, dude. But I feel uh like you as a free spirit, dude, would be fucking sick. But I mean, you're sick as you are, dude. I mean, regardless, even how you are right now, you're still a sick person, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have put up with all the fucking bullshit of like how much conflict and controversy you cause in TeamSpeak and shit. But like, I've ever since fucking day one where I've been like, all right, dude, come through, come live with me, dude, come through. I just want you to be like, no pressure, living your life, doing whatever the fuck you want to do, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously, it's gonna motivate you to not really do anything, because you want. I mean, you want to be productive. I know you do, but uh, I just want to see the true natural you without being squashed under the pressure of like society and expectations and your mother and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I
Well,
understand. I
I
understand
need
you.
to live. I need to earn money.
No, I get it.
And for
There's a
that, I need to adhere to society.
no. There's
It's
I get it. I get it. There's a survival aspect of it, but can you imagine being like completely independent and still surviving? Like, how would you feel? How would you act? Like, you don't even. That feeling's probably so foreign to you that you can't even imagine what it would feel like.
probably I'd have to. I don't know. I Like I said, I change depending on the people I'm with.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like I'd have to be all alone to kind of have
yeah. Yeah,
that.
like if you had a fucking apartment by yourself and you could pay rent easily with whatever job you had, like, can you even imagine the feeling? Like, how you would feel just psychologically, how you would feel, just state of mind. Like, I feel like you would be a fucking, like, an invigorated, like, white Kevin, dude. Like, a new person. Because, I don't know, dude. I just understand the feeling of like being squashed under the pressure of like you gotta do this, you gotta go to school, you gotta fucking go to college, you gotta perform. The rest of your family, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they're fucking like succeeding. Why can't you? Shit, you know what I mean? Shit like that. Like, I understand that feeling, and like that is so fucking draining, dude. Like, people
It
kill
gets old.
themselves. People
Yeah,
kill
yeah.
themselves over it, dude. Because it's like, well, so I'm gonna spend my entire fucking life trying to fulfill these people's expectations. Fuck them, dude. I'm gonna just kill myself. Fuck this shit, kind of thing. Like, I mean, it's so easy to make that choice because it's like they don't appreciate me for the person I am and what I want to do, like just naturally. Like they can fuck off, kind of thing. Like, uh, I just feel like you aren't appreciated for who you are. You know what I mean? You're like, I don't know. That's what pisses me off about society. It's because like, that's why I see every single fucking person has value, no matter who you are. I mean, there's positive and negative value, but you know, Hitler obviously. But
Right.
but yeah, like because the opposite of that effect is like it's like I can I can devalue this person to where they don't matter to me, and that can cause the exact feeling we were talking about just a second ago, to the point where somebody will kill themselves over being devalued as a person. Like, oh, you're gonna take my existence for granted, motherfucker? I was born on this planet. I don't even know why I was born on this planet. I was raised in the family I was raised in, and like, you're gonna expect me to jump through all these fucking hoops that I don't want to jump through. Like, it's much easy. It's the easiest option is to just give up. Is to just not fight. You know what I mean? It's a constant fucking battle. Like that. That's why it's weak-minded to commit suicide, because it's like it's taking the easy way out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. With the suicide thing, I mean, I only suggested that because Marcus said
Well,
he
I'm
couldn't
not.
even move or something like
No,
that.
I'm
You're
not
right. Like,
saying. I'm not. Referring back to what you said or anything. I'm just talking in general.
yeah, I've never understood the suicide from like family pressures and I don't know. I think anything like emotional like that. But when it comes to like I live in agony every day. I can't move. Like I'm dying. Then I think like suicide or assisted suicide
Here
is
we
like
go,
totally.
white Kevin valuing the fucking adding value to fucking one thing over another. Like, I
I mean,
understand where you're going with it, but
like I'm
the
saying, I agree with you that it's kind of like the coward's way out. So I mean, that's
I'm
probably a
saying
bad way to
the
explain it,
emotional
but
pain can be just as valuable. I'm going to use that word here because you're trying to value one thing over another.
mm,
It can be just as intense as the physical, if not more intense than physical pain. Like, depression can be much worse than being wheelchair bound. I mean, obviously vice versa, but I'm just saying the power, like the power of fucking having a terrible mind state and being able to like being unable to drag yourself out of it is definitely just as strong as not being able to move every day or some shit like that. Like, depression can cause you to not want to move every day, kind of thing.
yeah, the crippling depression.
Yeah. I mean, it's fucking, it's so easy, or was so easy. Like, whenever I felt like depression's a mindset. I don't think I've ever felt true depression or anything like that. Uh, I'm sure this is a real gray area with you because you're probably like, just feel better, forehead. Nah, but like, just not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to shower. Like, I've had health anxiety to the point where I don't even want to eat. You know what I mean? Like I in the past I've been so afraid that I have cancer that I will literally cause my body to it will be the inverse of what I'm worried about. Like, I can literally worry so much that it becomes bad for my health when what I'm worrying about is my health in the first place. It's so contradictory, you know what I mean? Like, uh, it's such a fucking crazy thing to, uh, like, your mind can cause you to contradict itself so fucking easy when you're worried about like your existence and shit. Like, I wouldn't get out of bed. I would just have panic attacks. I would just be fucking retarded. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
and I mean that's just whenever that shit starts happening, that's when you know that you're kind of being irrational. Is when you're contradicting yourself. Like, wow, I'm worrying about this so much that I'm actually impacting my health negatively when I'm worried about my health becoming negative in the first place. It's like, at a certain point, if you're so anxious about something like cancer or like fucking anything when it comes to anxiety, it almost gets to a point where you kind of wish you do have that in order to just get it over with because you want to get rid of your anxiety. Like, you just want confirmation of like what is the truth, like, because your mind will continue to assume like, oh, I don't know the definitive truth, I'm just gonna assume the worst, kind of thing. Like, dude, anxiety is like fucking insane, dude.
Yeah,
It's
it's
so
pretty much it's pretty much crippled Kevin from doing anything with
yeah,
his life, right? Like
yeah, it's so tough to overcome, and it comes in waves. It's not like you beat it and it's gone. It's
hmm
just constantly fluctuating like a chart, like up and down, like, and it's all about like your mental willpower and your state of mind to be like, bam, I had that thought. I have a thought about a bad thing, and I'm free. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Like, it doesn't have power over me to the point where I'm making decisions because of that bad thing that I just thought about. like I remember when Black Kevin wouldn't even click on fucking links because he was scared of getting a virus. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
now he's like, oh dude, yeah, I don't even know what this link says. It's so fucking long. Like I'll click it, bitch. I literally heard him say that to Jess like 2 days ago, and I'm like, dude, if Black Kevin 10 years ago read that, he would not even know what fucking person that is saying that. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, Black Kevin changed my perspective on what a human being can be and act. Like,
I feel like when you
maybe
say
I was
that,
sheltered or
I
something. I
feel
don't
like when you say that, it's really negative. But maybe I'm just assuming. What do you mean?
know.
Are you?
Let's just say, okay,
I'm fucking mind blown at how a
of
person
all
can
the
be
people,
so dysfunctional.
no, no, of all the people I've met in my life, Black Kevin is nothing like the others. That should explain it as
Okay.
best as possible.
Yeah, he's unique. In a really weird way. That's why he's so polarizing. Everybody fucking
You
loves him.
just used weird. Come on, dude. We already. No, I'm just
Uh,
fucking
it,
you. The fucking weird meme. Weird normal.
I think if anybody is or if there's anyone to use the word weird for, it's probably gonna be Black Kevin. That's for goddamn sure. But I'm memeing. Like, what do you mean he's not like anybody else? Just because of what? Because of how fucked up he is? Because of
His interests, his hobbies, is the way he manages
okay,
his
so
time.
okay, so just generally him.
Yeah, yeah, his eating
His thought
habits, his
processes.
his family dynamic,
Yeah.
the way he talks, his sexual tendencies. Yeah,
Sexual tendencies. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I get you. I get you. Yeah. Yeah. Fucking. For sure. I haven't met really anybody like him before either, but we haven't really met a lot of people in our life. I don't think. But I'm definitely glad that he's different like that. I'm glad he's like how he is. I mean, well, I can't really say I'm glad, but um, I appreciate his uniqueness for what it is. You know what I mean? For sure. I think that goes without saying. I think it's obvious that I appreciate everybody's uniqueness about them. That's why I started just being like, yeah, man, everybody's a fucking character. You know what I mean? That comes in here. They all have their positives and negatives. People have similarities, people have differences, but we can all appreciate the characters for who they are, and like, we shouldn't want them to change. I mean, we should want them to. You can have your personal wishes for how people should and shouldn't change, but um, if we were all to be like, hey, Black Kevin, you should be this fucking way. Like, at the end of the day, he's gonna end up like a completely different human being, or like, it's gonna end up being a sculpture that you're gonna try and sculpt him into yourself, like just as you would do anybody else. It's like everybody, if everybody listened to your advice, they would end up being you at the end of the day, and that's not the goal that we should have. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have the goal of living with 1,000 clones of me, or 1,000 clones of White Kevin, or 1,000 clones of Jeff. Like, the goal if there is any fucking goal in existing together, is to uh, see people being different and appreciate those differences. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like if we ever meet people with similarities that we see, like if you ever meet somebody with traits that you have yourself and you can see yourself in that person, you don't really like it that much. You know what I mean? Like if you were locked in a room with a clone of yourself, you would probably end up getting in a fight because it's like you feel like threatened. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's someone that exists who can do everything that I do exactly how I do it. Like, fuck that shit, dude. I I like the fact that I can, do something different than somebody else. I like the fact that I can play a mage and somebody can see the style of mage I am versus like if you were to play a mage, like, because if somebody plays a mage and people are like, dude, that guy plays mage just like Brum, I would be like, no, he doesn't, motherfucker. I can like show you. I'm a fucking duel this bitch and beat his ass to show you that I'm better than this dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's fun to have uniqueness, like because it's kind of like a pride thing, like in
Mm-hmm.
individuality, like or individualism. It's fun feeling individual. It's fun. It's invigorating, kind of. That's kind of why I hate the idea of cookie cutter anything, because it's kind of like there's no creativity or individualism in it. You know what I mean? It's you follow this. Some guy figured it out that this is the best. This is
Mm-hmm.
mathematically the best. That's fucking boring. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Yep. No, I agree with you.
yeah,
Sometimes though, there's um, no more room for creativity.
yeah. Jesus Christ, dude. Time fucking flies. That is insane. It is so fucking crazy how fast time goes when you're not doing something that you don't want to do.
Right.
Like it's crazy how much it causes you to appreciate time when the more time you spend doing something that you don't want to do, it causes you to appreciate all the time that you have to do what you want to do. It's fucking nuts, man.
Feels good, man.
Yeah. I feel like it's a discipline thing too, dude. Like it's a lesson in discipline, like almost like the more you force somebody to do what they don't want to do, the like more they're going to enjoy their time away from doing something or the more they're gonna enjoy something that they want to do. You know what I mean? I think that's what I just said
Yeah.
over and over again. I'm just saying the same thing over and over